Leeds.
Hey folks, happy Friday. Welcome back to another episode of Opinions to Go. Do more players need dropping than just Eli Millier? Massive talking points going to be that lineup this weekend. Kick off 12:30 tomorrow away at Luton. Oh, nervous. But yeah, I think it's that lineup is probably the hardest to sort of predict for this game than we've had all season. It really is. Talking points are obviously keeper. He's already come out and rectified that. We know he's made that decision early week to give Darlow plenty of time to get focused and prepared for the game. You know, great decision. Some are telling me on here, and you know that it's come from Parag, it's come from 49ers, the pressure from above. That they've had conversations, they've told him, they've forced his hand, regardless of who and why. That's potentially true. I don't know, but he's made the right decision on Darlow coming in for Millier, so that's a great starting point, and I do believe there's a few more positions that need rectifying. That 10 we've spoken about all season. I've advocated all season that a winger that we have at this club could play in there, whether it's a Solomon and or Ramazani. Everyone bar Dan James for me can play in the 10. It's just a different role they'll be playing to an Aronson. I don't think Aronson for these next 7 games. I don't think we're going to see him start. I really don't. I think Nonto's going to start in the 10 tomorrow, and I firmly believe him to catapult our attacking form back into action. And I think if he has the game I'm expecting him to have, we'll lose or draw. To be fair, I think he's going to look one of his most lively attacking players, and I think based on what we've seen in his last 2 sub appearances, that's probably evident, and I think he'll keep his spot. I think Aronson will be used in there for rotation potentially, but I do think Nonto going forward is a spark we need in that position. We need to go for it now. We need to go for it. I understand Aronson does a lot off the ball, I understand that, but we're in a place now where we need to grab promotion with both hands and get there ourselves. Don't be relying on the results. And I think putting Nonto in there is a perfect player now for, you know, he's on form, most importantly. A lot of those players now are out of form. Nonto looks on form, he looks hungry. We've spoken about Nonto being the guy. He should have been the guy after Somerville. Right now, maybe it's his time to be the guy. 7 games left, can he do it? Of course he can. So for me, the 10, I think Aronson drops out. And then you look at the wing, I think we're not all playing at 10, which I think he will. Does that leave scope for a James or a Solomon to come out? Probably not. Probably not. He probably will start James and Solomon. In my opinion, I'd love to see Ramazani get a go. I think Ramazani out on the left instead of Solomon would be absolute dynamite from the start, alongside Willie Nonto to right of him. I think that as a pairing we saw earlier in the season were absolutely phenomenal. They had a real synergy. You could see that sort of Nonto Somerville link up we saw a few times last season, that joy of playing with each other. I think them two have that. We just haven't seen it, down to the fact that Solomon hasn't been fit and hasn't been able to get his way back in team. Plus Nonto, you know, for periods this season, hasn't been able to work his way back in because of the form of Solomon and James. But I think Ramazani starting at left wing could be an absolute masterstroke. Do I think he'll do it? Maybe not. But I do think when we've got Saturday and Tuesday away at Middlesbrough, I think we need to see Ramazani start one of these 2 games. We need to see some rotation. We need to see players who aren't in form, regardless of talent. Sometimes you've just got to take out a firing line. And for me, I think for this game, Solomon should be rotated, dropped, whatever permutation or phrase you want to use. I think Solomon should drop out too. And then that leaves centre at Park, really. I think Pido starts up top. I think defence picks itself. Firpo comes in for Bynum. You're not dropping Bynum, it's just going back to how it should be. With Firpo being back fit and after international duty. But the middle of the park, does Gruev have a chance? I don't think so. So for me, it's Tanaka comes back in, and then you're left with Ampadu or Rothwell. I'm a firm believer Rothwell should always play because of his set piece ability, the way that he picks the ball up and drives with the ball. He's really good at playing through the lines. Really good player is Rothwell. I think Tanaka's good at the work, you know, that breaking down play, winning second balls, starting attacks. He's brilliant at that, dropping in between defenders and picking up and progressing up the field. But I do firmly believe Ampadu will start. Based on form, based on what we saw against Swansea, yeah, I know he was a little bit jaded. I would like to see Rothwell away from home, Rothwell and Tanaka. Away from home, they've struggled a little bit. We've seen when Ampadu don't play away from home, as results are impacted when he doesn't play. Fair enough, I get that. I would like to see Rothwell play, but I think Ampadu stays in there. But Tanaka comes back in for Rothwell. It'll probably be the likely change, but I think the centre of the mid is hard to call right now. I think the 10 That's the talking point, and I think the wing is definitely a talking point. So, like you say, he's already picked his goalkeeper. We know that he's been brave enough, or for whatever reason that decision's been made. Great start, but I do think there needs to be some other changes in this starting lineup to the norm, what we normally see. The lineup picks itself pretty much all year. I think now we're getting to a point now where it doesn't, and there's a few positions in there that need tweaking, freshening up, and let's go for it, Leeds. Let's fucking go for it. 7 to go. Can't wait. But yeah, I've got my good mate Jack from Jack City. Let's hear his thoughts.
Hey up guys, hope everybody's alright. It's a lovely warm day, so we should be getting ready for the weekend now, should be good. Matt has just been in touch, asked for my opinion on whether more players need dropping in general within the side. Obviously we've not lost Mez has been dropped. Whether I think he's probably the right way to go. I did call for that when the mistakes happened at Hull, to be honest. But to be honest, I didn't mind Farke backing it and sticking with Mez. We don't really know what we're getting out of Darlow, which is it worries me slightly. But ultimately, it's the best thing for the club, for the player Mez himself, and for Farke. Because if something goes wrong at the weekend now with the goalkeeper, it's not on Farke, is it? So and to be honest, it maybe strengthens Farke's position, doesn't it, a little bit if Darlow does do something wild. Let's just hope he can catch a ball. But the question is whether we need to drop any more players for the running. I'm not sure dropping would be the right term. But I am up for some rotation, that's for certain. So I personally think Solomon needs some time off, to be honest. I don't want to dig Solomon out because I don't think he needs dropping. I don't think any of them need dropping at this point, but I do think a little bit of rotation. I just don't think bringing Nonto in really makes that much of a difference to the side structurally. I mean, if he goes with him in the 10, I'd also back that. I've said for a while now, Matty, though, to be fair, that whatever Farke chooses to do for these last, well, I said 8 games, but obviously it's not gone great last week. But whatever he decides to do in the next 7 games, I'm just getting behind it. It's all riding on for Farke, so it's ultimately his job on line if it doesn't go well. So anything he decides to do, I'm going to back it to the end of the season, and we'll see where we turn up. I think we'll be all right. As I say, I would drop if we're going to say the word drop, but I think it's more a rotation thing. I just think Solomon maybe needs pulling out for maybe he comes back in for Middlesbrough. I'd be up for him rotating them wingers. I'm not 100% certain I can hang my hat on Ramazani. I think Ramazani had an awesome purple patch at middle of the season, but he has struggled to come back into the side. I don't know whether that's a Farke thing, or people say it's too stubborn and he won't change it. I personally think Dan James is going to be needed. I want some players that are going to just turn up on Saturday and for the running now and just give 110%, and I'm certainly not trying to suggest that Solomon doesn't give 110%. I think he does, but I just think Nonto looks, then we need a little bit of selfishness now. It needs to be like individual players trying to get us to Premier League, and because they want to play in Premier League. Whether they want to drag Leeds up with them is irrelevant to me at this point. We just need some players in there. Dropping, I think there'll be a lot of changes this Saturday, just in terms of Firpo comes back in. I know that's not dropping Byron, but Byron comes out at starting lineup again. We go back to Firpo. Tanaka I would put into centre mid with Ampadu. Which is effectively another change, because obviously we've had Rothwell, but again, I'm not dropping Rothwell. I think it's a strong term to say that we're dropping these players when really they've been excellent for large portions of the season. But yeah, definitely some rotation needed. Tanaka and Ampadu into middle. I would swap Nonto and Solomon. That'd be my rotation out wide on left. I'd keep Aronson and James, and I'm hoping Parisli can get a chance this Saturday. I think Peru's going to be extremely important, as we all know, but particularly in this running. He's in a bit of a dry spell. If he can get rolling, I honestly think that can make the difference for us going up. I won't be too radical. I won't be trying to start Joseph and putting Peru into 10. I won't be doing that. So I don't think Peru needs dropping. I don't even think he needs rotating really. He just needs some chances in front of goal. I think Darlow is the right choice. I know that's dropping of Mez. But overall, I think there'll be enough changes come Saturday, and then we're into Middlesbrough. Let's hope, my word, we can get a result against Luton, because truly, if we go to Luton and don't get 3 points, I don't think we deserve to go up. I don't care that Luton are on this. People are saying it's a difficult fixture and they've got plenty to play for. We've got a lot more to play for. We're trying to get to Premier League. We've got to make it happen this year. So, in summary, Matty, because I've gone off on a few tangents, but that's how we do. I would just rotate Nonto for Solomon come Saturday. and then I would see how we get on. And then Solomon potentially comes back in the midweek game against Middlesbrough. I'm easy with whatever he chooses. But Firpo, Tanaka, Nonto, they all come into the side for me. Take it easy, everybody. Cheers for having me on, Matty. You're a legend. Shout out to everybody that watches your channel and that. Take it easy.
Thanks for that, Jack. Please go check out Jack over at Jack City. Top guy, great content. Thanks for jumping on and giving me your opinion, buddy. Hope everyone has a good weekend. Thank you very much. Take care, guys.